With the Commissioner's approval, I'd like to just start the roll call. We can start with Commissioner Precinct Number 1. State your name and so forth. Lines, we can check the quorum. Roll call for Precinct Number 1.
David Fuentes.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. First
Prayer.
item on the agenda is the prayer.
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Father God, again, we give you thanks for another day that you've given us. Lord, thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to serve, Lord. We continue to pray for our leadership, Lord. Pray for the judge and 4 commissioners, Lord, that they continue to lead this great county of ours, Lord. May they lead with wisdom and integrity, Lord. Continue to bless them and their families as well, Lord. Continue to provide wisdom for myself, for all our workers of this great county, and all the great leaders that we have in this county, Lord. May we all continue to work as we're working for you, Lord. I ask this all in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Next item is the open forum. Is anyone here signed up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do have one participant
Okay.
under the Drainage District. I will remind the audience, or ask the audience to please respect the speaker's time. Please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There is 3-minute time limit. I'll advise when there's 1 minute. Our first speaker under the Drainage District is Yolanda Lopez. Yolanda Lopez? Okay. Then she's not present, so we have no others.
Well, then we'll go to the next item, which is approval of the consent agenda.
Yes, sir. There are no issues that I'm aware of regarding the consent agenda.
Motion
Approved
approved.
in order.
Second. Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Next item.
Yes, sir. Item 5, discussion approval of all personnel actions approval after September 25th, 2018, 2019 budget adoption date for the district administration and maintenance and operation budgets. We have several positions that we have created after the September 25th that we need to carry over to take action on with temporary positions that we had. We had one engineering tech position that was created from a graduate engineer to an engineering tech, or she was an interim. So we need to
Motion approved.
propose that to have that action.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Item 5B, request approval of budget amendments for the district general fund in the amount of $97,995.18 to fund item A in 2019.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 5C, approval of revised salary schedule for 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 6A, Drainage District General Operations, ratification of approved notice to suspend work issued to Castle Enterprises LLC related to construction contract at CACDD 1 18047092 for Dow County Drainage District Number 1, Alamo Expressway Drain, effective December 28, 2018.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 7, request exemption competitive bidding requirements, Section Local Government Code 262.024A4 for professional engineering services.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7, excuse me, A2, presentation of scoring grid for the purpose of ranking by the Board of Directors of the firms graded and evaluated to the district's approved pool of engineering firms for the provision of professional engineering services for Mile 11 North and Texas Boulevard, 2018 bond referendum project number, 23. First firm name is Cortran Engineering PLC, a score of 89.6, Strata Engineering Consulting LLC at 88, and CSJ Group a score of 90. Would the board wish to rank as stated?
So moved.
Second.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
I believe we've talked about this before. I myself, in my prior life was a professional. I used to do tax work. So there was simple tax returns, complicated tax returns, and real complicated tax returns. So generally anybody in the firm could have done a simple one. It required more qualifications for a more complex one and a lot of qualifications for the real complex. Are there similar assignments in engineering such as that are basic engineering work as opposed to real complex work?
They could be, sir, but in our business, when it comes to drainage, if we're doing a major general study of our county, let's say, that could be a little.
Well, so we can move it faster when you say they could be. Let's just talk about these ones here.
Yes, sir.
Would you classify this to be basic, complex, or real complex?
I would say between basic and complex is general. Most of the groundwork has been done already through my office and through the original study that was done by the consultant that did the evaluation for the drainage areas for precinct 1. So a lot of the groundwork has already been laid out.
Okay, so there was obviously not a lot of spread between the qualifications of the three engineers. What caused this one engineer firm to be higher than the other?
The evaluations were done by my staff engineers. When you look at them, they look at some of the historical information that they have on their submittal as far as the experience that they've done for the similar type of work, things of that nature, and they graded based on that information. The grading, it should be attached. If not, we can provide that, Judge, but we take into account some of the experience, some of the application of the actual project itself. As I mentioned, these are pretty straightforward projects because a lot of the groundwork has been done already by my office and the study itself. So my engineers do the grading of that information.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is because obviously we just got through with the bond issues. We have a lot of work to design and do. So I want to make sure that you felt that you had a very efficient way and how to process this information.
We feel very, very confident. We're in communication with the precincts as well. A lot of these projects are located in various precincts, so we work closely with them as well on experiences they've had also with some of these design teams that are performing services for the county as well. So we communicate with them as well because we want their feedback to see how they're performing as well. We have a good feel at the district, myself and my staff engineers that we have in-house. We have 3 licensed engineers in addition to myself on staff, and then we have 2 EITs, and then we have another graduate engineer.
We can get to the details later. I want to just...
Yes, sir. We feel very comfortable. Yes, sir.
All right. Is there any other questions or discussion? We have a motion to approve. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Item 3, pursuant to board approval, requesting authority to Dow County Drainage Number 1, negotiate a professional drinking service agreement, number 1 ranked firm, CSJ Group, for the provisions of professional drinking service for Mile 11 North and Texas Boulevard 2018 Bond Referendum Project 23.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, 1, requesting approval to accept bids and award a construction contract to the lowest and best bidder meeting all specified requirements for RFP number ACD 1-19002, 1228, Farm McAllen Drain Improvements to Morewell LLC for base bid in the total amount of $654,951.32 as recommended project engineer, subject to legal approval and compliance with House Bill 1295.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 2, pursuant to Texas Program Code 262031, and in the interest of expediting project's progress, requesting authority approval for Drainage District General Manager to execute change orders that involve an increase or decrease in the cost of $50,000 or less, and in no event the change order may exceed the statutory limits. The original contract price may not be decreased by 18% or more with the consent of the contractor.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. I'm sorry, is there a discussion? Good. Any discussion?
Sir.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, 1, requesting accessory competitive bidding requirements, Texas Program Code 262024A4 for professional drinking services.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 2, presentation of scoring grid for the purpose of the board of directors, or the ranking by the board of directors of the firms graded and evaluated through the district's approved pool of engineering firms for the provision of professional engineering services for East Mercedes 2018 Bond Referendum Project number 10B. R. Gutierrez Engineering Corp. 9167, SWG Engineering LC 990, and Dannenbaum Engineering Company 9133.
Move for approval.
Second.
Just for my educational, what would be the difference with item C2 and item A2 in terms of work?
In terms of work, these projects are general drainage projects. They have, some have a drainage ditch component, detention facilities, and some have pipe work. For example, the one that we just did right now, or we're considering right now, sir, it has some drainage, some ditch work, and a lot of pipe work in the area. And then the one that was approved on the item 7 is more general drainage work, ditch work, and detention facilities. But they're similar in nature. But
and we have to choose the engineering group that has the highest score?
That's traditionally my understanding of how it works. I know we have legal counsel here representative, but my understanding of being at the county, when I work for the county and working now at the district, has been, sir, that when the ranking takes place.
I can guess. What is the answer?
Well, you can approve the ranking or you can reject the ranking. I'd need to look at.
Well, but my question is, are we obligated to pick the engineering firm with the highest score based on their own internal evaluation?
I'd need to look at the.
Okay, so you don't know. All right, so why don't we find out for the next time? Okay, I don't have any other questions on this item. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I'm opposed.
You're opposed to it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let the record show the Commissioner Cantu is opposed to this action.
Item C3, pursuant to the board's approval, requesting authority for Alcounty Drainage Number 1 to negotiate a professional engineering service agreement with the number 1 ranked firm of R. Gutierrez Engineering Corp. for the provisions of professional engineering services for East Mercedes 2018 Bond Referendum Project 10B.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I'm
Motion
against.
carries.
I'm against.
Let the record show that Commissioner Cantu is opposed to this action. Motion carries.
Item 8A, right-of-way acquisition, requesting approval of closing documents parcel 15 as it relates to Rainbow Drain Phase 1, Segment 1 project, and authority for the chairman of the board to execute documents pending final legal review.
So moved. Second.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
We do have some closed items in executive session.
Okay? Do we have the attorney instruct us to go to executive session?
You just read as per chapter 551.
Okay. Here?
Go back to closed session. But read this one because you got to read this and this.
Yeah.
As per, we're going back. As per chapter 551.
Okay.
Yeah, Judge.
I'm getting familiar with all this procedures here, okay? As per chapter 5551 of the government codes, we're going to discuss those items in executive session. And sections are 55.1.071 and 551.072.
Motion to.
Motion to go to executive session.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We'll be back. Okay, we're back from closed session. Open session, are there any action items to be taken?
Mr. Sising?
Yes, sir, thank you. 10A, real estate acquisition, we will proceed as directed. 10B, pen and potential litigation, no action. And 10C, no action as well.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Does that conclude our agenda items?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This meeting is adjourned then. I call the meeting of January the 9th of 2019 of the Commissioners Court meeting to order. May I have do I need a roll call?
Yes,
for
sir.
this one too?
Yes, sir.
May I start the roll call with Commissioner Precinct 1?
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
We have a quorum. Present. What is the first item of the agenda?
Pledge of Allegiance.
One
Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we begin this new year with a new Commissioners Court, who we welcome, and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what's best for Hidalgo County. We ask for your blessing and your guidance. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, by the way, welcome. Welcome, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner. As you can tell, we're going to have a learning curve here, but
Yeah.
I've got two very experienced commissioners side by side to me, so you can give me a Coscoron anytime you like. Mr. Guerra, what is the next item on the agenda? that
We have approval of consent agenda, and Judge, Commissioners, if I may, I'm asking the Commissioners Court to approve the consent agenda with the exception at this time of consent agenda item 11B and 13A 1 and 2, and 13B and 13C.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Judge, Commissioners, item 11B is membership dues. We have a pending affidavit, so I am recommending approval of item 11B, subject to the affidavit being filed and attached.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And with respect to consent agenda item 13A, 1 and 2, B and C, for the record, Commissioner Fuentes is abstaining from any discussion and/or action, again, with respect to consent agenda item 13A, 1 and 2, 13B, and 13C. With that being said, I'm asking approval of this item from the court.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Judge Commissioners, item 5A, I'm going to ask just to take action a little later on the agenda. And so we'd like to go to item 6, County Clerk's Office. Ms. Annette.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Annette Muñiz, Chief Deputy for Arturo Guajardo Jr., our County Clerk. We're here requesting approval of 2019 elected official bonds. We have Arnoldo Cantú, Judge, County Court at Law, number 5. Jaime J. Palacios, County Court at Law, number 2. Albert Garcia, County Court at Law, number 6. And Daniel Marichalar, Constable, Precinct 5.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
We have item 7, the Sheriff's Office. Do we have
Anyone here?
oh, yes, there he is. He was.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Chief Herrera, Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County. Sorry for the delay. 7A, Sheriff's Office, OSDIF 1284. Number 1, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditors for OSDIF OT funding.
Approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
A2, approval to appropriate OSDIF OT funds in the amount of $1,258.98 in reference to investigation number SW-TXS-1048H.
Approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioners, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Morning,
Item 8,
Judge.
Constable,
Commissioners.
Division 4. Good morning.
I'm here, Judge, on item 8A, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Cesar Perales as Reserve Deputy Constable by myself, Constable Gaitan, Precinct 4 in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code Section 86.012.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, item 9 for Constable Precinct 5, I'll present, but I'm going to ask if the court would undertake item 16A, CSA. We have some CSA board members present. Mr. Longoria?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Judge, this morning with me I have Mr. Jeremy Everett, the Executive Director of the Texas Hunger Initiative, and one of our advisory board members, Ms. Elaine Hernandez, who's going to speak on behalf of give us a little bit of insight on our agenda item today. I'm going to go ahead and read the item, and then I'll give you a little bit of background. Item 16A is discussion, consideration, and action on the amendment to the fiscal year 2019 Community Services Block Grant from the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for program year 2019 with authorization for Judge Richard Cortez. I apologize for the typo, Judge. This was an item that was submitted previously and moved up on the agenda.
Not a problem.
Judge Richard Cortez and Jaime Longoria to sign any and all pertinent documents as recommendation by the Hidalgo County Community Service Agency Board on December 20th of 2018. I'd like to call to your attention the document in the blue folder that we've distributed to you. That document is a copy of our 2019 Community Needs Assessment. Every 3 years, the Hidalgo County Community Service Agency undertakes a needs assessment. We go out into the community, we do meetings, workshops, public forums with constituents to find out what the needs of the low-income community is, what the needs are in Hidalgo County. And I'll call your attention to page 22 of that document, where after all of this process, we had a series of workshops, as I mentioned, and hearings and questionnaires that we sent to elected officials, to low-income families. We compiled all of that data. We came up with the top 5 needs. And that's essentially how we're going to allocate our funds and allocate our efforts for the next 3 years. It's 3 years at the Community Service Agency. It is, for all intents and purposes, our game plan, okay, for how we're going to address poverty in Hidalgo County. The 5 needs are, and I'll just read those into the record briefly. Bear with me just a second. It's a lack of affordable health care and assistance with major health conditions, lack of job skills necessary for better wages, lack of knowledge regarding resources available in the community, lack of access to affordable, nutritious food, and lack of support for special populations, i.e. veterans, foster care participants, DACA, parolees, and migrants. So those are the 5 areas that we heard loud and clear from the community saying, these are the areas we really need assistance in. And to speak on one of those particular needs, we've taken advantage of the fact that Mr. Jeremy Everett with the Texas Hunger Initiative is here today, and we wanted to bring him to speak to you on the issue of hunger, the lack of access to nutritious foods here in Hidalgo County, and a real exciting proposal that he's made to us and an initiative that we're looking forward to starting today. So I'm going to introduce Mr. Jeremy Everett.
Thank you, Jaime. Commissioner, it's good to be with you all. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what we've identified. So my job is the Executive Director of the Texas Hunger Initiative at Baylor University. I also previously served as a congressional appointee by U.S. Congress on the National Commission on Hunger. One of the things that we learned as a commissioner on the Hunger Commission was we sat down with one of your professors here at Texas A&M who told us one of the jobs that he was one of the research projects he was doing here in the colonias. He gave us an example. One of his promotores was visiting a home where they would do a survey to find out if people had any food in the house. One particular woman invited her public health worker over to her kitchen in her colonia to be able to see what was in her fridge. And she opened up their fridge, which is a normal part of the process for the public health worker. When she opened up the fridge, there was nothing there except for a bag of chicken bones. And so the public health worker turned to the woman. She said, "Why in the world are there just a bag of chicken bones in your fridge?" And she told the woman, she said, "This way when my children come home from school and they open up the fridge, they'll at least see that something's there." unfortunately, hunger is way too big of a problem in our nation and certainly in our state. In our state, 1 in 4 children experiences hunger. 1 in 6 adults experience hunger. Here in the Valley, over 30% of your children are experiencing hunger. The good news is that you got great organizations like the one that Jaime is leading, like the work that our regional director, Dr. Elaine Hernandez, is doing here in the community. As a result, you've been able to reduce hunger by 10% for your children alone over the past decade, which is fantastic. But I want you to understand the economic impact of what we're talking about. So 4 of your federal nutrition programs that come into your county alone last year brought in over $500 million. And so what we've learned is that this affects not only the individual who's experiencing food insecurity, the individual that is participating in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or the kid that's on the school lunch program, but it also has significant economic impact. So the way that this money works is that if an individual signs up for the SNAP program, they're immediately taking those resources and spending them in your grocery store. The Grocers Association, who we work with out of Washington, has told us that program accounts for 1 in 10 jobs, 1 out of every 10 jobs in your local grocery stores, both in Hidalgo County and around the country. And that also affects our local farmers. So you're talking about $500 million coming in that are providing job opportunities and alleviating hunger. For us, that really completes the circle. The good news is that though you have a huge need in your community, last year in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, you left $150 million on the table in that one federal program. So that means that you have a lot of resources available at your disposal. There really are not economic development programs that you have at your disposal that are that large. And that's one of 15 federal nutrition programs coming into your community. And so the work that Jaime's doing, the work that Elaine's doing, we implore you to be able to work alongside them. We find that building public and private coalitions to be able to greater utilize these resources is of critical importance, and 100% support the work that Jaime's put together. Thank you.
Where did we drop the ball that we didn't access to the $150 million?
It's largely communicating to people that they are eligible for these programs, and then providing adequate access points for them to be able to sign up for the programs.
And how do we fix responsibility in the county to someone to make sure that happens?
Yeah, it's the old, it takes money to make money, right? So the more you invest in programs like the one that Jaime has, the more people that he has to be able to sign people up for benefits. Nonprofits can do this as well, so it doesn't just have to be your for-profit or your local employees. It can be nonprofit organizations. Congregations can do this, but it's making sure that they have adequate resources. It's also working closely with your schools. Your schools know who your high-need families are, right? I mean, they're making sure that their kids are getting lunch and after-school meals, and so it's doing the same thing, but broadening it to their entire family. So Dr. Elaine Hernandez has a full list of resources that we can come alongside you with. And today we've actually brought in a team from Washington and from Boston. They're flying in as we speak to be able to show them all the great things that you're doing, but also to help them see some opportunity that maybe they could invest in here in your community as well. So,
thank you very much for that report.
Yes. Judge Cortez and Commissioners, Happy New Year to you. In the packet that you have, you will also see just some general information on SNAP participation, which is very important, on the school meal program and that reimbursement rate. But here in the county, we have many, many partners who are working in the field to help address hunger, including the county WIC program, the county Head Start program, and then all these other partners. So we are proposing to partner with the Community Services Agency to help implement this needs assessment that they've identified and to begin to bring the data back to you to help tell the story of the solutions and the gaps. So we still have gaps in after school, holiday, and summer meal time when schools are closed. So we're working with Easter Seals, with the Equal Voice Network, with the food banks, with the school district, many, many partners. And we want to bring them together under the county umbrella to be able to bring you the information so that you can also see what is happening and help us to move forward or move the needle on hunger in the county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to follow up on your question, Judge, we also, as part of our needs assessment, our family needs assessment, so when a family comes to us and is requesting assistance from our agency, we do a pretty comprehensive needs assessment, and if we identify hunger being one of those issues, then we refer to one of the partners that's actually doing this work, and we actually work to get them registered into those particular programs. So we do everything we can with the contact that we have. So what we're asking is, as part of this initiative, is to gather a coalition under the auspices of Hidalgo County, with county government kind of leading the way to gather this coalition together and figure out how we can best address hunger in Hidalgo County.
Judge, if I may, the good thing is that the Boys and Girls Club, if not all of them, most of them provide the hot meal to kids after school during the summertime, during the holidays. So shout out to Boys and Girls Club for helping with that hunger initiative.
And what we do is, just to follow up on that, is we actually help pay for registrations for low-income families that can't afford Boys and Girls Club. So it kind of completes the circle.
And school districts as well have been putting in those summer food programs, which has been extremely helpful for breakfast and lunch.
Absolutely.
Yes. And what you have in front of you is the actual allocation for fiscal year 2019.
We'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. As you know, you have two new members to this court. In the way that I would like to see something like this, because there'll be a lot of different issues that I have to look at. I'd like to have an analysis something. This is what we're doing today. That's column A. This is what I think we ought to, these are improvements that we can do or make to column A. There would be column B. These are additional funds that we would need to be able to go from column A to column B. And if you were to empower us to make those changes, it would take us this much time to make those changes. This gives us a really good roadmap, because one of the things that a manager must do is fix responsibility. If not, we're going to be going like this, who's to blame or whatever. So to me, if you could do that for us, it would make it easier, certainly for me, to respond to your needs as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we have a motion. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
very
Thank you,
much.
Commissioner.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. I'd like to, Judge Commissioners, oh, I'm sorry, Miss. Oh, yes. I'd like to go back to item 5A. We have Ms. Laura Hinojosa in the audience.
Okay. We'll take a picture. Is that what you're trying to do?
Is that,
She's going to take a photo while I hold the archives.
But for that last item?
No, for the.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. That's an old one.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge, Mr. Crane, and Mr. Guerra. Happy New Year. As per county policy, I'm coming to ask for your permission to apply for a grant to help us with records preservation from the Texas Bar Foundation. And what you see in front of you is one of our historical books dated from 1922 to 1923. The statutes changed a couple of years ago, which now deem anything from 1950 back as being historical, which we cannot destroy. So the district clerk's office is in need of monies to help preserve and protect our historical documents, which is why I, again, am asking for your permission to apply for a grant from the Texas Bar Foundation. What you have here is a book that has already been preserved, and that book, you'll see, covers 13 years, and it is, I believe, part one of the civil minutes from the first court in Hidalgo County.
Wow. We have a motion and a second to approve for the application of the grant. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your help.
thank you, Judge Commissioners. If I may, if we go back to our next item, item 9, Constable Precinct 5. Constable could not be with us today, so he had asked that I present. He is asking for an appointment of a deputy constable, and this is under Government Code, Texas Local Government Code 86.011, and his appointee is Mr. George Arce as a deputy constable, and this is for Constable Daniel Marichelar, Constable Precinct 5.
Move for approval.
Second.
And this amount is budgeted?
No, these are reserves.
Reserves, so
Yes.
there'll be no compensation, okay? All those in favor of the motion, please signify.
Oh, I'm sorry. 86011 is for appointment of a deputy constable, and yes, there are funds allocated for this position. Yes, my apologies. Yes.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, because you said a reserve on there.
Right, and I apologize. This
And
is
I was
a
looking at
regular.
it, it says approved.
Right, this is a regular, 86011. Item 10 is for the tax office, but we have Mr. Castilleja in the audience for Mr. Villarreal.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Santos Castilleja, Motor Vehicle Manager. Item 10A, discussion and approval of a third amendment to the full-service deputy contract by and between Hidalgo County and Bridgepoint Insurance Agency and Permit Center, LLC, subject to the full-service deputy providing surety bonds in the amount of $100,000 per location and final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, do we have a committee or somebody that looks into this thing and decides?
A committee? We work with legal counsel to ensure that the contract is in accordance.
Okay, but you pick somebody to buy the bonds.
Well, let me explain. A little background. I don't know where most of you go to renew your vehicle license plate stickers. You know, there's various for-profit organizations that do that. These people come and they have a business and they want to provide that service. And the statute requires, if they're acceptable to the county, then the statute provides that these entities have to provide bonds payable to the county for their holding of the license plate documents, the registration documents, and because they collect the money, then that money is turned over to the county.
Okay, so they decide where to go to.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anybody who lives in the county wants to renew their registration, decides if they want to come to the county office, or they want to go, if you remember, we had some grocery stores that still do that.
Sure.
You have other people that do that for profit.
Banks and stuff.
Banks.
Yeah, sure.
So the bond is to protect the funds, the property they're holding
Sure,
and collecting.
but I can give you a piece of paper that I sell bonds, and I mean.
As long as the bonds meet the requirements of state law, we can accept those bonds.
And they provide us the originals and we
They
forward.
provide the original bond.
But how do you test the reliability of the issuer of the bond? Being a solid insurer?
As long as they can issue bonds under state law, they're acceptable by the.
Steve, at one time we had talked about even the insurance to be emailed from the agent itself, right? And maybe the bonds were mailed.
That's why we accept only the originals.
Only the originals.
We get the original bonds and the power of attorney from the insurance
Okay.
company.
I don't remember, do we have a motion to approve?
Yes, we have a motion.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I also have 10.2, which is discussion and approval of attachment D, RTS Workstation Lease Agreement for the use of State of Texas automation equipment by and between the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles and the County of Hidalgo.
Move for approval.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Judge Commissioners, item 11 is under my office. If I may, item 11A, 1 and 2, there's no action to be taken today. Item 11B is discussion, consideration, and action on name change designation of authorized official for all grants, including e-grants. And the designation is for Richard F. Cortez, County Judge, as well as the submittal of all necessary correspondence to agencies confirming same.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 11C is the setting of a regular term meeting under Texas Local Government Code Order of the Court, and so pursuant to Article 81.005A, which are the terms of court meetings of the Texas Local Government Code, consideration and entering of an order into the minutes on the designation of the day of the week and week of the month for Hidalgo County Commissioners Court regular term. And so, Commissioners, I am recommending for 2019, the week of the month would be the 4th, day of the week is Tuesday, and for our regular term meeting, time of day for calendar year 2019 would be 1:30 p.m.
Move for approval.
Second.
This is obviously a change, but we can be flexible.
Yes.
Moving back and forth. This is really to accommodate me. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioners. Item D, I'm asking the court to consider permission for the Museum of South Texas History to use county parking lots near the museum for visitor parking for the following events. And I will, in no particular order, it would be Pioneer and Ranching Crafts Day, Summer Nights at the Museum, Fandango, Dia de los Muertos, and Fiesta de Noche Buena. These would be Saturday, Feb 16th, Thursday, June 13th, 27th, and July 11th, Saturday, October 5th, Saturday, November 2nd, and Sunday, December 8th. All these times would be on after hours or non-working county days, 8 to 5, 7 to 9, 5:30 to 11, 4 to 10, and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. respectively.
Move for approval.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item E is under our Tropical Texas Behavioral Health. This is Fund 1100, and this is approval of payment to Tropical Texas Behavioral Health for fiscal year 2019 county allocation of required local match in the amount of $1,257,440. This is under our HHSC contract 529-17-0038-0036 A04 for MH and BH services and contract. Again, and that contract is number 529-18-0055 00001, and as well as the amendment number 1 for IDD services, and this is all in accordance with Texas Health and Safety Code, section 534.066, with authority for county treasurer to issue check after review and audit and processing procedures are completed by our county auditor. For the record, the match percentage increased from 5% to 7.06%, and this was determined by the Health and Human Services Commission.
Move for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is approval of payment to Tropical Texas Behavioral Health for fiscal year 2019 county allocation match in the amount of $248,109. This is for psychiatric emergency crisis services. This is HHSC contract 529-17-0038-0036 A04. This is also with authority for county treasurer to issue check after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, item F and G are related with respect to request and action. Item F is approval to accept the settlement check from Geico Insurance Company in the amount of $2,899.09, and this will settle an auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item G is I'm asking the court to approve a settlement agreement offer from Pronto Insurance Agency in the amount of $8,500. This will also settle a total loss auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Second action item would be approval to authorize myself altogether as the county executive officer to sign power of attorney forms for title purposes to settle total loss auto accident claim with Pronto Insurance Agency. And for the record, all appropriate documentation will be filed for the record.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No one opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Mr. Silguero. Item 12.
Good morning, Judge Cortez, Commissioners. Raul Silguero from the Department of Human Resources. Item 12 for the judge's benefit, Judge, we have a budget policy and amendment policy, and it reads in part, Commissioners Court will not consider requests for changes to increase the number of budgeted positions or increase the compensation paid to each authorized position within a department until the next appropriate budget cycle. So normally we try to have most of our personnel changes, adjustments during the adoption of the budget process. But obviously during the course of the year, there's a need to make adjustments. And so for that reason, the court being cognizant of that, we have an item that we ask for a waiver of the policy so that we can proceed with personnel actions. So item 12A is asking waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments for the personnel items that are listed below.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 12B for Precinct 4. This relates to the sanitation and drainage improvement project. A little background, we made some adjustments during the budget process, and in coordinating with Commissioner Torres, we're needing to make some adjustments back. So this action will result in maintaining the status quo and making no changes. And so there's no changes to a person, there's no change in salary, there's no change in anything. And I have to do item 2 first. It's approval to rescind action on agenda item 68019, item 92, which was previously taken by the court.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Seguero.
Yes.
And Judge Commissioners, there is a participation form that was filled out by Ms. Ferma Clarity, and it's related to 12C, D, 12E, 12F, 12G, and 19C, which will be further down the agenda. But I think with some clarification with respect to why these are on here.
Yes, okay. Item 12B then it's to delete slot 0015, sanitation foreman, which is a grade 13, and create slot 0031, supervisor 3 of construction, still a grade 13, and the employee occupying that slot is a grade 13, step 3. Like I said, there's no change in salary or function or anything. It's just a we doing things to the way they were as per Commissioner's request.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is under the nuisance abatement program, which is administered under Mr. Guerra. Approval of the following personnel action effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. The request is, and let me state first that the Auditor's Office submits a letter of observations where they indicate there's something missing on the agenda, either a backup document or an appropriation or something. All those documents that were missing were in transit. They should have been attached to the agenda. If they're not, any action that we request would be subject to the completion of those forms and appropriations, funding, and so forth. This is a request for reclassification for slot 0004, currently a nuisance abatement specialist 1, and the request is to reclassify that position to a grade 9 program coordinator 1. From a grade 9 to a program coordinator 1, grade 10, which is as a result of issues with court filings for the nuisance program for people that are not following up on I guess we call it the Weedy Lot program.
Right.
Mr. Guerra, is that correct?
Right, that is correct. It's we've been monitoring, and Mr. Trevino does send quarterly, if not monthly, information to the respective precincts. And as of late, we have been monitoring those cases where we're not getting the response that we should be getting. And so we're at the point, and we've been working with legal counsel. We have followed the council's process that was set up, as well as the process under the statute. But we're at the point where we need to start addressing those cases where, as I said, we're not getting the response that we should be getting. And so this is dedicating toward that process.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, this is for various departments, and basically there's two courts. Judge, Commissioners, when we implemented the classification compensation plan, we had linked and tied the compensation for the bailiff to a deputy sheriff. By statute, the sheriff is required to provide bailiff duties to the courts. So we created the bailiff position at a grade 10, which was in line with the starting salary for a deputy sheriff. Subsequent to that, the sheriff's salaries were adjusted up and they were increased, and they don't match, and the courts are having difficulty being able to hire a certified peace officer to be as bailiff. So what I'm proposing to do is to regrade the bailiff positions. Currently, it's a grade 10. The regrading would be to have a bailiff 1 position at the county court level and a bailiff 2 position at the district court level. The bailiff 1 grade will be in line with the deputy sheriff position, and the bailiff 2 position will be in line with the senior deputy. We have the same distinctions in the court coordinator position, where we have a 1 court coordinator position for the county courts and a level 2 for the district courts. There's a difference in level of responsibility in terms of the type of cases that are heard. In this particular case, in order for the 2 new judges to hire the people that they need to hire that are certified peace officers, we're asking for the 275th. The first 2 is to delete the bailiff position at a grade 10 and to create a bailiff 2 at position at a grade 13, and for the county court 3, the probate court, to delete the bailiff position and create a bailiff 1 position at grade 11. And the 93rd, which is the last 2, they've already hired somebody, so we'll address that in the following agenda when we do the regrades for all the bailiffs. So I'm asking position to delete the bailiff position for those 2 courts, the 275th and county court 3, and then create the bailiff 2 and the bailiff 1 position as listed.
And Mr. Silguero, this is keeping in line with respect to what was presented and approved by Commissioners Court with our grade and step policies and procedures.
That's correct. And we will be coming next week to regrade all the bailiffs that exist, so that, especially the requirement to have to be a certified peace officer, the bailiff 1 position will only require a basic certification. The bailiff 2 will require an intermediate level certification. We'll be back next week so that we can adjust all the bailiffs in the courts right now.
You need action for this.
For this, yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2D, this is approval to revise the classified positions list so we can include those titles in the list.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item E is for the sheriff's office, the jail commissary, a need for detention officers. They're asking approval of the following personnel action effective next full pay period. The sheriff is asking that we delete position 009, a clerk 3 at the listed salary, and that we create a detention officer position, slot 0019, at the listed salary.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item F for the 449th District Court, approval of the following personnel action. The court is asking to increase the interpreter allowance for the bailiff who does the interpreting. This is within the allocation for the courts. They want to increase the allowance from $2,500 to $3,000, and it's well within their allocation for interpreter services.
And Mr. Silguero, just for clarification, the interpreter allowance, that is not a base salary. That is an allowance outside of the base salary, correct?
That's outside, yes, and the courts normally assign the interpreter pay to a court coordinator, to a bailiff, to an assistant, depending on the skill and certification of interpretation, for that service. So it's an additional supplement to the person doing the interpreting.
But that let me ask this. That supplement is not subject to stay with that individual. It can't, or that slot.
They reassign it, as they need.
And again, not part of their base.
Right.
Move for approval.
Second. Raul, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
All this we're approving, it comes out from the regular budget, their own budget, right?
Yes, Commissioner. It
Yes,
comes
sir,
out of their budget.
there's no allocation,
Yeah.
or that's within their allocation.
All right.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item G, for the county judge's office, approval of the following personnel action effective upon commissioner's court approval. I have been working with the judge's chief of staff prior to January to reorganize, make certain adjustments on positions, and this one needed to be, we didn't get this right, and the judge is asking that we delete position 0029, Constituent Services Specialist 111. What he really needs is a Constituent Service Specialist 4, so we're asking to create slot 0041 at a grade 15.
So move for approval.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item H for the Department of Urban County Department, approval of the following personnel action effective next full pay period. The department head is asking that they have received a new grant, roughly $4 million, to do some projects in Precinct 4. This is the 2015 GLO, the General Land Office flood grant. This is some additional work that will need to be done, some additional site visits, et cetera. So they're asking that we increase a supplemental, that we add a supplemental allowance of $1,800, and that we increase the auto allowance to $5,400. So it's a change of $3,600 altogether because of the additional work that this employee will be performing.
So move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Silgar, you said the total is, the difference is 1,800, sir.
Yes.
No, the auto.
It's 1,800 in supplemental and 1,800 in auto.
Total 3,600.
Oh, yes. Total of 3,600, okay.
Yes, sir.
And just as a follow-up with respect to the auto allowance, you and I have been working on the accounting of those that, and accounting of those that have auto allowances under the county departments with respect to the appropriateness, plus or minus after review. So I believe that you're just about done
Yes,
with that
we'll be
procedure so
working
that we can.
on analyzing the travel habits or work
The
related to,
appropriateness and-
as it relates to the amount, and so that we
Plus or
can
minus, okay.
take some adjustments.
Thank you.
Vale.
Yes, sir.
On this auto allowance, you know, I know the answer, but what about insurance for the auto, for the,
Okay, yes, and I know that's an excellent question, Commissioner. Again, with respect to these individuals that have an auto stipend, an auto allowance assigned to them because of their duty, we do, when they go through our orientation and when we do make adjustments or they add on, we do notify the individual that, and I'll use me as an example. When I'm doing county business in my personal vehicle for the county, I am course and scope. I understand that if I am involved in an accident, that my personal insurance is primary. The county's insurance.
well, what's the limit on the personal insurance?
Well, I have bumped up limits because of the amount of travel that I do for the county. But under Texas law, we have, as long as they have their minimum Texas law required limits. Mr. Crane, do you remember, are they 2040 right now, or did they go to 3050? Do you remember?
Like the issue's going to be is tort claims.
Yes, but I'm talking about just for our vehicles. Texas law requires a minimum of 2040, I believe.
I have,
There's
I
a
believe
minimum.
that's the minimum,
Right.
but I have not checked.
Right, there's a minimum, and so we require, and we check their driver's licenses to make sure that it's active, and we also check to make sure that they have an active insurance on their vehicle, because again, we make them understand that if they're involved in an accident, their insurance is primary. The county's insurance is secondary, and only if their primary insurance is exhausted and there is a gap, then the county's insurance steps in. But again, theirs is primary, and so we make them understand that.
But who checks it after a while, after they've been hired?
Oh, our safety department, we do regular checks on them with respect to active.
I've never been checked.
Well,
But I have $1 million insurance.
Right.
But I've never been checked.
well, yours is a little different in the sense with respect to
Yeah,
your
no,
bonds.
I understand, yeah, but.
But we do check regularly through the safety department to make sure that their driver's license is active and their insurance is active. And without any detail, we do come across individuals that have issues with respect to the driver's license, and then they are parked until they resolve that issue.
No further questions.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Agenda item I, 12I, is for the District Attorney's Office. Approval of the following personnel action effective upon Commissioners Court. Step adjustment discretionary. The District Attorney is asking to add a discretionary step to a District Attorney 2 slots as listed. We have 3 slots because these people are paid from 3 different accounts, but it's really one employee, and this is within the classification plan policy.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item J, also for the District Attorney's Office, approval of the following personnel actions as per Exhibit A. Judge, Commissioners, I have been working with the District Attorney's Office for months in terms of converting all of his staff to the classification plan. We worked to convert all the attorneys so that we can classify them correctly. And I have been working to finish up that, and we have met with them, reached agreement. There was basically what was left was the administrative assistants. The administrative assistants are really the people that assist the attorneys, the district attorneys, the assistant district attorneys, and they're mislabeled, misclassified because they're really legal assistants. And we have gone through the analysis of their work and what legal assistants should be classified as. And the list that's attached includes 4 executive assistants that were reclassified to legal assistant, and 43 administrative assistants, 1 chief, criminal investigator, and 1 clerk that we have reclassified. And this should finish the classification with the District Attorney's Office, and then going forward, then it would be just a normal adjustments that would occur based on promotions or what have you. So we recommend approval. The list shows our recommendations, and we have met with them, and we agree with, we're in agreement that these are the correct classifications. So we recommend approval of the list.
Approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did we do 2? I'm sorry. Was that 1 and 2?
Oh, Mr. Silguero, did you do item 2? That is correct. You need the appropriation
Oh,
of
I'm
funds.
sorry. On that particular item, it's approval of the appropriation of funds, and much of the adjustments in salary will be funded through the judge's House Bill 65 funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Serna?
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Diana Serna for the Urban County Program. We are requesting no action on item 13A. We published the meeting, public hearing for yesterday, so we're going to have to republish.
Okay.
Okay, going on to item B. Subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for professional services, construction material testing services with Robert Kister Consultants in the amount of $7,984.24, utilizing year 2017 funding for the Granjeno Parks and Recreational Facility Project.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B2 is requesting the approval of work authorization number 1 for Robert Kister Consultants in the amount of $7,984.24.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is requesting approval to reject the bids received for the 2017 Palmview Parks and Recreational Facility Improvement Project, bid number 5017-550306-5000-5500, identified as UCP GBG.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D is requesting approval of a budget and program amendment for the City of Ed Couch using their year 31, 2018 funds from their work plan. They are relocating funding from several of their projects into their Parks and Recreational Facility line item so that they may be able to match the Texas Parks and Wildlife grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Olivares.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Welcome, Judge Cortez. Welcome, Commissioner Torres. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. I have several items today. 14A, requesting approval to submit a letter of intent to the Texas Department of State Health Services. The purpose is to have Hidalgo County considered for the next cycle of funding for the Texas Healthy Communities Program. The award is in the amount of approximately $100,000 per year from October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2024 for the next 5 years. So this is looking at about a $500,000 funding over the next 5 years. And a lot of thanks goes to Rick Salinas, and he's one that's helped deal with this program. Our team has worked real well to get this funding.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
Requesting item 2 is requesting approval for Eduardo Olivares, Chief Administrative Officer, to assign the letter of intent.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
Item B, sir, is requesting approval of the certification of revenue by county auditor in the amount of $119,969.80. The funds are from the Health and Human Services Commission Medicaid Administrative Claiming Program that we work with. We've been doing it for the last several years.
Approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval to appropriate the MAC or Medicaid Administrative Claiming Program budget in the amount of $119,969. Correction, $119,969.80. I apologize.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries.
Next item, sir, item C, I'm really proud of this. Our All Hazards or Preparedness Grant that we've had for many years. We just got renewed. Again, it's very competitive, and we've been able to do well with this. It's requesting approval to submit renewal grant application and budget for the CPS Hazards PHEP program, FY20. The award is $574,166, and the program period will be in effect from July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. This program requires a 10% local funding match, and we've appropriated that within our general budget account for this year, sir.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
Item D is requesting the approval of certification of revenue by county auditor in the amount of $98,790.50. The funds are from the Health and Human Services Commission Medicaid Administrative Claiming Program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval to appropriate the MAC money budget in the amount of $98,790.50.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
Item E, Healthcare Funding District, so there's no action or items there unless you have any questions in regards to that. Item F, Indigent Healthcare Program, there is no action or items there unless you have any questions in regards to that. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Judge, Commissioners, with your permission for adult probation, I did have a conversation with Mr. Patrick yesterday on a separate matter, and so I know that he wasn't going to be able to make it today. And so item 15 for the adult probation, this is their Fund 1289. This is under the DWI, and this is for September of 2018. Asking approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the DWI grant program income in the amount of $2,386.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
And item 2 is the appropriation of the DWI program income in that same amount, $2,386.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
For October of 2018, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the DWI grant program income in the amount of $2,964.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
Item 2 is approval of that appropriation of the program income in the amount of $2,964.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
For November 2018, as certified by the county auditor, again, DWI grant program income in the amount of $2,400.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
And item 2 is the appropriation of the program income in the amount of $2,400.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 16 has been acted upon. I'll ask-
Just
Yes, sir.
I mean, obviously, we're going real fast approving them. Why aren't these in the consent agenda?
Because these are, we have customarily, with respect to the auditor's office, their certification of revenue and the appropriation, we have just customarily put it on for, as a disclosure with respect to that, to these program income monies.
Can you review it again?
Yes, and actually, and in talking to, with the judge and the judge's staff, as well as discussions that we've had with the court, we regularly review items that we can keep moving over to the consent agenda. And again,
The consent agenda has the same disclosure.
yes, it has the same disclosure. So if there's any question, we can always pull that out. So we'll go ahead and do that for the, as well.
Please work on that, because sometimes we're approving $70 items, and there's $500,000 on the consent.
Gotcha. Yes, sir.
Please.
Okay. Item 17 for WIC is Mr. Ramirez.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Clarissa Ramirez with the Hidalgo County WIC program. Here to present on item 17A, WIC Lactation Center, requesting approval to reimburse Esther Carizales $57 for meals with authority for the county treasurer to issue check after review, audit, and processing procedures have been completed by the county auditor. No advance was issued due to the short notice to process advance. POs were processed for hotel and airline.
Move for approval.
Second.
If I may, Judge, same thing on this, Wanda, if we can have department heads not coming to wait a couple of hours to present on items like this.
And Commissioner, you're absolutely,
We talked about this.
and you're absolutely correct, but with respect to this particular issue, not so much the item itself, but the scenario itself, and I have not followed up with the auditor's office, but the auditor's office had indicated and said that these items, they want it on regular agenda. And again, I've not had a discussion with our new county auditor.
But that's not what I mean. The department head is here for 2 hours to present a $57 item.
Right.
So, I mean, you can handle it.
Yes.
Just let them know it's an easy item, we'll handle it for you.
Yes.
I feel bad for the department head that's sitting here waiting for an item like this.
Okay.
Item B.
Do we have a
Well,
vote of that?
But we need, right, you're correct.
Let me have a motion in a second.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, under WIC, ratification to request additional funding from Texas Health and Human Services. Number one, FY19 in the amount of $5,000 for additional funding for the cost of fringes and salaries for the registered dietitian grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Two, FY20 in the amount of $5,000 for additional funding for the cost of fringes and salaries for the registered dietitian grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Three, FY20 in the amount of $103,220 for additional funding for the cost of the wireless internet for the WIC program.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. That just kind of sticks out. 103,000 for wireless internet?
Yes, we have Wi-Fi at our clinics due to the new system that we have in place, the new Texan system. We have tablets and we have laptops that connect to the Wi-Fi.
And this is for the entire year?
For the entire
Year?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Seems like a lot, 103,000.
Need to open a wireless company.
That's the way the state ordered it when we completed the survey, but I believe it also includes the internet connectivity as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 18.
Oh, real quick, we do have 24 clinic sites that operate on the Wi-Fi plus our admin office and our lactation center.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Ms. Fong?
Good morning, Linda Fong for the County Auditor's Office. Item 18A, discussion, consideration, and approval for the County Auditor's Office to conduct an audit of the Chapter 59 asset forfeiture report prepared by the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, HIDA, Constable Precinct 1, Constable Precinct 2, Constable Precinct 3, Constable Precinct 4, Constable Precinct 5, and Hidalgo County Fire Marshal for fiscal year 2018 pursuant to Chapter 59 asset forfeiture report requirements.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Happy New Year. Secretary Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 19A, 1 is approval of the Texas Department of Family and Protection Service contract. contract number 247-38252.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 19A2, the approval for the county judge to sign the contract documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 19B is discussion, consideration, and approval to apply the 3% cost of living adjustment for the Texas AgriLife Extension employees. And that correction on that item, it will be effective today for that supplement.
Move for approval.
Second.
And item 19B2 is approval of the...
Hold on a second. Now, we can't combine 1 and 2, Steve? Take action at the same time?
I think you could,
We
as
probably
long as you put them together in the
Yeah.
caption.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind, keep saying all those in favor, but, you know, we can cut
No,
half of them out.
we try to do that as
I'll
often.
save my voice here. Okay, we have a motion on item 19B, 1. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And 19B2 is approval of the interdepartmental
Yeah,
transfer.
let's combine those
We will.
in the future.
As much as possible, please.
Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 19C is
We're
approval
only
of
on
the...
page 7. We're only on page 7.
19C is approval of the following salary schedule changes for 2018 and 2019 as listed on the agenda. And that's for a step adjustment related to a promotion of an employee.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 19D, the authority for the county judge to sign text dot form right away, A10 tabulation of values for all parcels associated with the Precinct 3 Veterans Boulevard project from US 83 to the Homer Road, CSA number 086501108 until project completion.
Approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 19E is approval to designate funds in fiscal year 2018 for expenditures related to the UT Health SNAP-Ed program in the amount of $67,254.
Move for approval.
Second.
Now, what is this again? What is this? I'm not familiar with this.
This is a agreement that we entered into with UT Health for some, I believe there's 2 outreach workers that'll be working at, I think one of them is precinct 4, one of them is precinct 1. And these are funds that we're just carrying over from last year to the new fiscal year. We're designating those for, to be able to be used in this fiscal year.
Those in favor of the motion? I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is Su Salud Si Cuenta. That's a grant.
Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And normally, Judge, these grants would carry over because they're in a sort of a grant fund. However, this was via an interlocal, so it was not put in a grant fund. It stayed under general fund, which is the reason why we're designating these funds. Normally, they would automatically carry over. Item 19, F1A, approval to designate the amount of $22,233.57 in fiscal year 2018 for the expenditures related to the new courthouse. Again, these are also unspent funds in 2018 that we're designating for appropriation and use for this 2019 fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 19F12 is approval to undesignate the amount. Actually, if I can have item 19F1 B and C is approval to undesignate the amount and appropriation of those funds in fiscal year 2019 in the amount of $2,680,764.72. And these will be related to courthouse expenses.
Commissioner Torres, you're okay to take action?
Okay. Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And Judge, for the record, this is F1,
B and C.
B and C.
F1A is no action?
We already
Oh, you had a, oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
I just want to make that point,
Yeah.
that we have
That's right.
one motion approving. two
Yeah,
motions.
he combined B and C.
Right.
And 19F2 A and B is approval to undesignate the amount of $2,426,768 in fiscal year 2019, and appropriation of those funds also for program expenditures related to the 1115 waiver district program.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
And item 19F3, we'll take no action on that, and we'll bring that back next week. Thank you, Judge Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
20, Purchasing Department, Martha Salazar. Welcome, Judge Cortez and Commissioner Torres, and Happy New Year to all of you. Have a very happy and blessed New Year. Item A, and I'll apologize for my voice. I'm trying to get over a bad cold here. A1 is acceptance of the rebate check from the Local Government Purchasing Co-op, also known as Buy Board, in the amount of $70,557, which is our rebate for purchases throughout the year.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is for Precinct 2, the acceptance and approval to execute an AIA document A133, 2009, guaranteed maximum price adjustment number 1 between Hidalgo County and the contractor, Erickson Construction, for Las Milpas Park Youth Facility through contract number 324 in the amount of $73,459.42, with authority to issue the notice to proceed subject to legal counsel's final review. I did place an expansion of that observation that currently Ms. Getz from Atlas Hall and Rodriguez is reviewing it, and it won't be, nothing will proceed unless they finally sign off, and so we can execute.
So moved. Second. Okay, usually legal review happens before.
Correct, but Ms. Getz was out of the office.
To expedite it, or what?
There were some issues here, and what we're doing, the dollar amounts and terms don't change. There's just some additional documents we need from the contractor and some language to massage into it to
Okay.
sign off of it.
All right, we have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And under item C1, this is Precinct 4. This is under a textile project, acceptance and approval of change order number 4 for additional work items with details as identified in the actual document attached here too, with Texas Cordia Construction for 10th Street Extension Project, including authority for the county judge to sign the required documents. The net change order amount is $21,300.26. New total for the total project is $9,334,783.80.
So moved. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
We have open forum. Did anybody
Yes,
sign
Judge
up?
Commissioners, yes, we do have open forum. We have one participant. I will ask the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There's a 3-minute time limit, and I'll advise when there is 1 minute. Our presenter is Ms. Fern McClary.
Good morning. I would like you to know you could hang meat in this room. And I noticed y'all's 2 vents are back here, so I would like y'all to move out here and let us sit up there where it's a little bit warmer. Now that I've griped, but it is extremely cold. Today I had done a participation form, and I wished y'all would put the dollar amounts. The nuisance abatement was $3,620. The various departments, which were all bailiffs, it was $17,398.51. And I sure hope that these bailiffs quit standing at the elevator on the 2nd floor waiting for marriage licenses, and we keep giving them more money. The jail commissary was $10,282.79. The 449th was $616.40, and the county judge, with the way it is stated here, because I talked to Raul, is $15,789. But they had done some changes or something, so really it's about $8,000. But we'd like to see that because I get calls and ask me how much. And also today is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, and I noticed that y'all didn't mention it or anything, but I do thank all the law enforcement for risking their lives, whether it be to be chasing a bad guy or coming to our homes when we're in trouble. I do thank each and every one of you, from DPS, federal, to our sheriffs, our constables and everything. I do appreciate your work. and standing up for the public. And I'd like to say Happy New Year, and to our new county judge and our commissioners from the Owls, and all those that are conservative, they're in the audience, who are concerned about our growing tax burden. Commissioner Torres, I'm afraid to let you know that you got the short straw, because most of the Owls are in Precinct 4. So we will be coming and knocking on your door greatly, because we are concerned about what goes on in our precinct. So like I said, I do hope y'all a Happy New Year, and I hope that this year is better than next year. And I want to talk about the Boys and Girls Club. They do give those children lunches when they come out of school. So I do thank you, and I hope we can get that one building opened very soon, because it's awfully cold on those kids. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge, Commissioner,
Closed
we do
session?
have closed session. Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to go into closed session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071 and 551.072 to discuss the following items that are listed.
Motion
I
to
have
go
a
into
motion.
executive.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries. We're back to open session.
Thank you.
Are there any action items to be taken?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Under open session 24A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there's no action to be taken. 24B, pending and or potential litigation, there's no action to be taken. 24C, cause number SC 180142-J41, County of Hidalgo versus Maria Elena Amaya. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion to accept the agreed final judgment in the amount of $2,000 from Maria Elena Amaya.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Item 24D, cause number SC 18-0088-J41, County of Hidalgo versus Guadalupe Ramirez. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion to accept final judgment in the amount of $700 from Guadalupe Ramirez.
Move for approval.
Is there a second? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
And item 24E, claim of Abigail and Jose Acosta et al. Versus the county. Judge, Commissioners, I want to refer back to item 23A and 23B. 23A is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code, Section 262.02484, professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries.
And item 23B, engagement with the firm of Flores and Torres LLP for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation, and authority to submit letter of engagement subject to compliance with House Bill 1295. And this is specific to open session 24E, claim of Abigail and Jose Acosta et al. Versus County of Hidalgo.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
Okay, Judge, Commissioners, there is no need to go back into close and or open, so there's no action under item 25 and 26. And before adjournment, we are having Commissioners Court next week, January 15th, and we will start Drainage District at 9:30 and Commissioners Court at 10 a.m.
There are no other agenda items. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.